name is Ruckus. Thanks for joining. Please like, subscribe, and share. 10-8. Hey guys, how's everybody doing? All right, let me just get this chat box set up and then I'll bring in my buddy Frank. Just want to make sure that this doesn't get in the way of anything. We'll take it from there though, but let me go ahead and bring Frank in. Mr. Frank, what's going on, my brother?
Shit, the last couple of days has been kind of busy, brother.
Yeah.
But like I said last week, I said once the Supreme Court rules on what's going to happen, this case is going to take off, and started today.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it's going to be interesting to see what happens from here as far as judiciously, see what the court's doing. But it's going to be crazy.
I took what Judge Gould's order was today, her denying the Frank's motion is a slap in the face to the defense, actually.
Yeah.
I said, get her, girl.
Yeah. But if you want to say hi to anybody here, reach out, say special hellos. We got Boston Christian. How are you? Mummy Wolverine. I think Mummy Wolverine is in Florida. I don't know how far she is away from me right now. We've got Steph Babs Forever. Gail Hurd.
My chat is in your chat.
Miranda Lee. Miranda, I'm glad you're feeling better, sweetheart. That's great news. I'm glad you're home. Jill Moser, you and I need to get together. If you could email me, I'll send you my phone number or whatever, however we need to do it. Discord or whatever, but I need to talk to you about something. If you don't mind. Or you can tell me to go pound sand. We got Willow Rain. Olivia 2 in the house.
Quite a bit in here.
Teresa K. Who else?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. We got Bud Bundy. Diddums. I've seen, I watched my last live. I always go through and check the chat replay. And I missed some questions. So if you guys want to throw them out there, I'll address them either here or after. We're going to do part 1 here, Frank and I. And then you shouldn't have to do anything. As soon as my live ends, it'll kick you right over to Frank's. And
before going further, we've got 166 in the chat, and we got 23 likes. I need people to hit that like button, guys.
Please and thank you.
Thank you.
Got CJK. What's going on? You see, just get these hellos out of the way so we can get rolling. Angela, how are you, dear? Rob Lee says hello to you too, Frank.
What's going on?
She Warrior. Karen Bentley. I noticed too that I go fast. Hiawatha, how are you? I will get your question today, so throw it up there, please. She's one of the ones that I missed because, and you know how it is, dude. I'm only, even right now, we just started and I'm not even halfway down the chat list.
And it keeps growing.
Yeah. Hey, Daisy. And that's fine. I don't want to shortchange anybody's questions. Hybrid Pisces, how are you?
And if there's questions that are missed in this stream, just bring them right back over to my chat, my live, and he'll be there also, and we can answer them there too.
Yep, we'll do our absolutely best. Kyra, how are you? Sees through. What's shaking? She's in my neck of the woods. Actually, she's close to Mr. Steve now. Tanya Toe, how are you? But there's Michelle O. How are you? There's a lot that's going on behind the scenes. Lady Monet, how are you?
Hmm.
And I'm talking about in YouTube, not on the case. I'm talking about it in YouTube. Um, hey Hathers, how are you, dear?
I want to
Where
give a
people,
shout out to Jamie Hicks. She just got out of the hospital today. I'm not sure what the problem was, but she messaged me the other day saying that she might have broke her arm or something. So prayers out to you, Jamie. Hope things are getting better for you.
I didn't know that. Hope you feel better soon, Jamie. Rescue all the dogs. She's awesome. You already know that.
Yes,
Coach
great
Kev,
person.
what's up, brother? Willow Rain, Pam Hurst, True
True,
Crime
true.
Fangirl. All right, so
We
see
heard
the
that.
chill out. Stop spamming symbols. First warning. All right, let me see. Because I don't want that to happen.
We got Deb's True Crime Notebooks in the house also. Don
Right on.
Spain.
And if the mods, please, could put up their links. Shane, how are you? And I'm sorry if this Nightbot is being picky. I went through and I tried to calm it down, but I'm learning as I go.
That's why I don't even mess with it.
Carol, yeah, yeah.
I got enough mods in my chat to cover everything.
Jojo Bean. Okay, there's Jamie. Well, Jamie, I hope you
Yeah.
get better soon, hun. That sucks. Miss Maureen, Dove Magic. Jerry, I'm glad you could make it. Gene Wagner, what's shaking, Gene? I'm going to be reaching out to you soon so that we can continue what we started on the Huff case. True Crime Housewife, Mustang 1965. Now, is there anything while I'm doing this, Frank? Is there anything that you wanted to touch base on that from the hearing? Because you were there. Hello, Susie.
I mean, once Richard Allen's team got done with their little spill, and then the state came up and started doing their spill, and just kept preaching about this weak case or whatever the hell he was talking about. I could see the justices up there on the bench leaning right toward the defense with
Mm,
with their gestures and their answers and their remarks to the state's presentation, and I was like, man, they're leaning toward Richard Allen over here. I could see it.
mm. Lakeside Justice, how are you, dear? Delphi Dummies, what's going on? Amelia Lavender, my two favorite. I don't give a fuck. I do what I want, creators. Great to have you back in Delphi lately, Ruckus. Well, I'm like Beetlejuice. People said my name 3 times and I had to come back. We got V Marie, Lone Pony, Geek Mom, Chemo Sabi. Chemo Sabi, you had some great questions that I got to make sure that I get to. Let me see. I got 2 super chats. Let me grab these real quick. We got Jojo Bean with a super sticker. Thank you so much, Jojo Bean. I appreciate it. That helps out a lot. You have no idea. That helps out a lot. Every little bit helps. And from HN Nixon, super sticker 1999. Thank you so much. You're the bomb.com. It makes me feel good that people appreciate what we're doing, Frank. You know
Right,
what I mean?
exactly.
It's nice to have people who appreciate it. Don Spain, how are you? And finally, I'm just getting to Deb now. Deb's True Crime Notebook. Please put up people's links to their page, including Frankmeister. I try to load him into the Nightbot. We'll see if it worked. I'm going to eventually load all of you guys in there. Ruckus Rocks, I just want to know your opinion on other actors after Nick McClellan charged amendments, after the amendments to the charges. Yes, there's definitely other actors. I've
Hmm.
always said that. I think from my very first video, I know Keegan Klein's involved in some way, shape, form, or manner,
Yep.
and but there are others involved. I don't think Richard Allen crossed back over the creek. Sorry, I went right by. See, this is what happens. Crimezilla, I apologize. How are you? Welcome in. Nana Nurse 83. I don't think that Richard Allen crossed back over the creek. I think whoever participated with him started out on the south side. If you were facing south at the end of the bridge, off to the right hand side, going out towards the back way, the dirt roads coming out by the church there. So they crossed back over the creek, and that's how that DNA evidence got there. Now that doesn't mean that they were all covered with blood. It could have dripped off of a weapon. And when I say droplets, I mean we're talking droplets, barely able to see them, and a smudge. So that's what whatever they put in that garage building, whatever you want to call it. I'm not saying they went in there to clean up or anything like that. I've never even alluded to that. But they stashed things in there, and somebody had to go back and get them, and that somebody was Richard Allen. I'm not saying he rode his motorcycle all the way up to. Hey, Jess Deb, how are you? Mary Margaret, how are you? I'm not saying he rode the motorcycle all the way up to the building or barn, but he definitely went up that dirt road. They were able to pick up tire tracks that they matched to the tracks that are on his motorcycle cover. More people commented on that as well. Hi, Leslie. Saying that it didn't make sense for the motorcycle to have tire tracks on it. Well, if you're not the cleanest person in the world, you got your motorcycle cover sitting on the ground in the barn, maybe just uncovered it real quick, and when you pulled back in, you ran it over, went over the top of it. So, all of that is not only feasible, is believable. 100% believable. Miss Thang. Camaro Lover. There's Jinxie. What's going on, Jinx? Beth Gonzalez. All right. I don't want to jump over anybody. Let me see. Wanda. If there's any
All right.
questions, don't be afraid to ask them again, or put a Q with a colon maybe. Hey Shane. So there's something I can pull off to the side and get to. And I have gone through all the comments on my last video, and I tried to answer as many as I could. Some of them were pretty snarky. It's not hard to figure out who's on what side. I don't have a dog
Right.
in the fight. I don't, yeah, I don't care who the attorneys are or the judge. Yeah, Leslie, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. As soon as prosecution put out some new paperwork, that caught my eye, and there was a bunch of shit going on. And like I said, people have said my name 3, 4 times, so I'm like Beetlejuice. I pop back up. I'm still working those other cases though. All right, we got Heather Swenson. All right, I'm going to skip over the questions for a while. Hey Todd, how are you? Most people clearly lack basic critical thinking skills, even basic logic. I mean, you'd be surprised what people know and what they don't know. And some people just keep quiet, where other people should keep quiet, but don't.
Hmm. Exactly.
Carol Murray. Okay, let's get into this unredacted search warrant. Michael, how are you, sir? Let me put this up on the screen. Make sure everybody can see that.
I'm gonna get my copy out. Like I printed it off last night. All right.
Yeah, I can zoom in on this, but if you want to read it, we'll read a couple pages here, and then if we need to, we'll go back when we go to your channel and finish it up there. And
It's
why?
up to you. I mean, on how you want to do this.
Yeah. Well, let's just get it rolling, and I'll keep going through the chat and post the chat while you're reading that. And
All right.
I'll try and keep up with changing the pages.
All right, this is the unredacted affidavit for the search warrant for Richard Allen's home there on Whiteman Drive, guys. It says Carroll County Sheriff's Department Detective Tony Liggett swears and affirms that he believes that has good cause to believe that the evidence relating to the crime of murder and violation of IC Code 35-42-1-1 is located at the residence of Richard M. Allen. Date of birth, September 9th, 1972, located at 1967 North Whiteman Drive, Delphi, Indiana, Carroll County. Detective Liggett believes that evidence in the form of handgun, .40 caliber ammunition, knives, blue sweatshirt, jackets, black sweatshirts, jackets, clothing, electronic devices, cell phones with phone number of 317-612-4533, and any other cell phone used by Richard M. Allen will be located on the property. The affirmance states as follows in support of said warrants. I got to back up in the light a little bit. All right.
Okay.
That on Monday, February 13th, 2017, at approximately, we don't even need to read all that. We already know what happened there. But we're good. Abigail Wibbs and Liberty German were dropped off by a family member on the Mount Ohio Bridge Trail off of County Road 300 North on Tuesday, February 14th, 2017, approximately 12:17 p.m. The girls were found deceased. Their bodies were located in the woods northeast of the Monon High Bridge. Autopsies of the girls were ruled at their deaths as homicides, and their wounds were caused by a sharp object.
It's getting kind of hard to hear you, Frank.
It's because can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Where did I leave all that? Investigators located Liberty German's iPhone 6S under her body at the scene and were able to recover a video approximately 43 seconds in length. Captured at 2:13 p.m. on February 13th of 2017, the video depicts Abigail walking on a Monon High Bridge toward Liberty while a male subject wearing a dark jacket and jeans walked behind her. Near the end of the video, the man is heard in the video telling the girls down the hill. Through further investigation of the location of the bodies, investigators also located a .40 caliber unspent round. They also determined that articles of clothing from the girls were missing from the scene, including a pair of underwear and a sock. Through the investigation, there were interviews done with 3 of the 4 girls that were on the trails that day. The girls observed a male on the trails on February 13, 2017 that matched the description of the male in the video recorded by Liberty German. 3 girls identified as Rayleigh Voorhees, Brianna Wilbur, and Anna Spath encountered this male near a bench east of the Freedom Bridge. The girls were on the trail and were walking toward the Freedom Bridge to go home. The male they encountered was walking from the Freedom Bridge inwards toward the Monon High Bridge. One of the 3 girls identified as Anna Spath described the male as an older man walking on the trails as they were leaving, and she described him as kind of creepy. Older man, so small. In a text from Anna to Kyla Brummett, Anna described the man as wearing like blue jeans, like really light blue jacket. His hair was gray, maybe a little brown, and he did not really. It's hard to read this because it's so small.
What page are you on, Frank?
I'm on the back page, on the second page now.
Okay.
And it talks about, it didn't show his face. Investigators Steve Mullen and Brent Ingram interviewed Anna, and she described the male as wearing a blue jacket and light jeans, faded blue jeans. The jacket was a canvas duck type jacket. Rally Voorhees also in the group of four girls, and she said that she said hi to the man, but he just glared at them. She recalled him being in all black and had something covering his mouth. Riley recalled telling her sister that someone was in a grumpy mood. She went on to describe him as very tall and bigger build. She said that he was not taller than 5'10". Rowley went on to say in an interview that he was wearing a black hoodie, black jeans, and black boots. You want to stop there for a minute so we can
Yeah.
comment on it?
Yep.
Let me get my
Now,
pen.
so these juveniles were together. They were all
Yes.
together, and they seem the same person. I know everybody's hung up because of a little bit difference between what he was wearing, maybe his appearance or his height or anything like that. But I'm here to tell you, they're describing the same person. That to me, that's not up for debate. That's really nitpicking, and I agree that you got to look at every single thing. Okay, but they're talking about the same guy. There's no doubt about that. Do you agree with
Right.
that?
Yes, I do. She said that he had his hands in his pockets, and an interview was conducted in 2020 with Bree Wilbur. She was able to show investigators a picture that she took of on her phone on the Monon High Bridge with a time stamped at 12:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bree
And when
showed
was
him
that? When did she show him that picture?
in 2020.
So 3 years later.
Yes.
Okay.
And Bree showed investigators another picture she took at the bench just east of the Freedom Bridge when they were there, leaving at 1:26 p.m. Bree stated after she took the picture at the bench, they started walking back towards the Freedom Bridge. Bree stated that's when she walked past a man who matched the description of the individual in the picture. Detective Liggett believed the picture that she is referring to is the picture law enforcement released of the man on the bridge taken from the video Liberty captured on her cell phone on the day of the murders. Bree describes the man as wearing a blue or black windbreaker jacket. She stated the jacket had a collar and he had his hood up from the clothing underneath the jacket. Bree advised he was wearing baggy jeans and was taller than her. She stated her head basically came up to approximately his shoulders. Bree told us Rayleigh said hi to the man and he said nothing back. Bree describes the man as walking with a purpose like he knew where he was going. Bree also stated that the man had his hands in his pockets and kept his head down. All right. Mark where I'm at now. Go ahead.
All right. So is that? Let me see. And kept his head down. Is that
That's
is
Bree
that
Wilbur.
okay?
Basically saying the same thing that Raleigh had said.
Right. When you get to the part where it says Mr. Allen was at the trail between or
Okay,
13,
I can go ahead and jump to that now.
yeah, because remember we were talking about timeline issues.
Yeah, right. It says Mr. Allen was on the trail between 13:30 or 13:30 and 15:30. If anybody doesn't understand that, it's military time between 1:30 and 3:30 p.m. He parked at the Old Farmer Bureau building, which is the old CPS building, and walked to the new Freedom Bridge, which I'm pretty sure I figured out how he did that. He parked at the CPS building, and all he has to do is walk maybe a couple hundred feet, and there's a little gate that you can go through that
Hmm.
takes you right onto the Freedom Bridge. You know what
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
yeah, it goes right alongside 300 for a couple hundred feet, and then it turns right, and there's a little path with a gate that
Yeah,
goes right to the Freedom Bridge area.
right. Where did I go? He noted one was taller. Let's see. While at the Freedom Bridge, he saw three females. He noted one was taller and had brown hair or black hair. He did not remember description, nor did he speak with them. He walked from the Freedom Bridge to the High Bridge. He did not see anybody, although stated he was watching a stock ticker on his phone as he was walking. He stated there were vehicles parked on the High Bridge trail head. However, did not pay attention to them.
All right,
He
now
did
stop
not.
right there just for 1 second.
Okay.
The girl said that he had his hands in his pockets.
Yes.
He's saying that he was walking looking at his phone. So there's a discrepancy there.
Yep.
Mark Collins, how are you? Just real quick, I've been highlighting these questions. Hiawatha, Ruckus, how do you know there were two droplets and a smudge? Because I'm smart. I'm not going to divulge where I get all of my information. It just is what it is, Hiawatha. I apologize. You can believe me or you cannot believe me. It's up to you. It'll all come out, though. And then See Through asked, do you think the garage could have been used before the creek crossing onto Ron's land? It may have. They may have stashed things prior to all of this, but they definitely went there afterwards. Unless they took the girls there, because the girls' DNA was in that structure. So at some point, the girls were in there and they were bleeding. So, in my opinion, that was after the fact. All right, so we got him. The girls are saying that Bree's saying she took a picture at 1:26 at the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Allen is saying that he was at the park between 1:30 and 3:30. So
Yeah.
that coincides.
Yes.
Her picture had a timestamp on it. He's guesstimating. That's the way I look at it. But
Well, this is, it says the interview was conducted in 2020 at Bree Wilbur. She was able to show investigators a picture she had took on her phone of the Monon High Bridge with a timestamp of 12:43.
right, so just a little bit before. So they were there ahead of time, taking pictures and doing whatever they were doing. And just
And
let
then
me
she,
address something real quick with our viewer, real quick,
okay.
if you don't mind. Anything I want, I got your email today, and we're fine. No worries at all, my friend. I'm abrasive at best, so I don't take anything to heart at all. All right, continue on, sir. Sorry about that. I just wanted to address that. She just sent me an email today. Just want to make sure.
But like I was saying, it looks like what Bree is saying. She had taken two photos.
Right, one of the bridge itself, and one of her and either her sister or a friend at the bench. We've all
Right.
seen that picture, yeah,
Yeah.
with the three girls in it, I believe. Hey, Lockwood.
And then the times coincide with what Bree is saying. But then again, you got to go back to the memorandum where they're trying to change this alibi time.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Which,
there's a difference too, Frank, and I'm sure I don't mean to interrupt you. There's a difference, although they're very similar. There's a difference between this search warrant affidavit and the PCA.
yeah,
They're two totally different instruments. One is giving information to gain access for a search warrant, and the other one is to have probable cause, reasonable suspicion to arrest somebody. Hi, Ivy Rose. How are you, dear?
all right, we'll continue from here. He said he didn't pay attention to him when he saw the girls, and he did not take any photos or videos. His cell phone did not list an IMEI, but did have the following. And it gives you the MEID number and the MEID hex number. Okay, that's very important.
Hmm.
That is very important right there.
Yeah, and like I said, they subpoenaed the Dollar General or Family Dollar, whatever it is, because he
Mhm.
did purchase a phone there. I've referred to it as a burner phone. That's kind of a derogatory statement to make.
It is
He purchased a phone from there, but after searching his property, it appeared that he had a lot of phones. So
oh
I'm sure
yeah.
the defense will say, "Well, there's nothing wrong with that." You know, bushiest beaver. No, it's not newly released, but it's unredacted.
But see, they're able to do what the cell dump, what are burner phones just by these numbers.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
believe that's
absolutely. When they do a cell dump, right? We know there was one tower down the street on 300, a little past the Logan property. I don't know
mhm.
where the next closest one is. I think it was towards town. So what they do with the cell dump, and in that case, in Florida, anyways, and I'm pretty sure it's the same mostly everywhere else. It's called an administrative subpoena. You don't need a judge to sign off on that. You can have, I think, all the way down to a lieutenant sign off. Hey, Nedra, a lieutenant or a captain can sign off on that. And what they do is the cell phone tower company will give them every single cell that pinged off of those towers. And it's labor intensive because now they have to go through and pull out people that live in that area that have a reason to be in that area, and they narrow it down to people that don't have a reason to be in that area. So that makes less people that they have to look at, but it's still labor intensive. But they
Right.
can do it for a certain time, and I've done a video on that how it works. It's each tower has like three sections. It goes off in three different directions, so they can cut it down pretty far, but it's not an exact science. It's not like GPS is. GPS is right down to it.
Right down up to 4 feet, I believe it is.
Yeah. Now, what do you think so far about the timeline, Frank? I know we talked about that earlier.
There's still some pieces missing to me is out of the timeline. I mean, we don't have the information for Cheyenne, what time she arrived there. You know, we don't have exactly the time that Dave McCain was there. What time was he at the north end of the bridge? We don't know those times. We don't know, as far as I know of, about DP and this other girl that was there that he was supposedly there with. We don't have the times for them to fit in our timeline. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
just
Ellie
still
has
think
all
that,
that down now. They have, and I'm sure that when they lay this whole thing out, that's going to be part of the process. Only because the defense has already mentioned the timeline. Richard Allen has already recanted what he
mhm.
said and saying that no, it wasn't then, it was this time, which adds doubt to it. So they're going to have to address that, and I'm sure that
well,
they'll give a good.
what I'm thinking is that they've seen that his time that he gave, and they had to change it to contradict the witnesses' statements.
Hmm. All right, Mark's saying it's a little bit hard to hear you. Do
It's
you have
good.
is your microphone on the cable? Yeah, if you can move it.
How's that?
Yep, that's a little better.
All right. It's because I didn't have it clipped, and it's moving around.
Okay. Let me there's another couple questions I want to address real quick. I've just been when you're talking, I just pull them over to the side. Lockwood. Question, do you know all that was found during the Weber search? No, but I know that there was three search warrants signed, and they actually did seven searches. And I know that they found two blood droplets and one blood smear. That's not a question to me, that's a fact. Don Spain, Ruckus, are you saying RA rode a motorcycle down private drive when people were searching, or did he ride through neighborhood yard next to the Webbers? I'm not sure how he got there. He definitely took the bike. I'm not saying he drove right up to that area. He drove on those dirt roads. He may have turned right near the church and went that way. I'm not positive where they got those tire tracks from, but they definitely have tire tracks. There's no doubt about it. And that's not another thing that's a question. I'm positive of that. And they have matched that to the tire marks on the motorcycle cover. Now, people say, how can they do that? Um, Tires, they have factory imperfections because the same motorcycles, may have the same exact tires on them, but they get wear and tear. They get nicks and cuts. There's ways to identify them. They're almost like a fingerprint. If they've got a stone stuck between the tread, they can use that as well. So, but they have those tracks, and that puts him at the scene. Alrighty. Now, are you? Let me see. This will be the next page. And this is basically, if you just want to skim over it, Frank, instead of reading it word for word, this is basically mirroring the probable cause.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, and all the only difference is they added the actual names and everything in this thing. Is all they did,
Mm,
and gave whose account of what. You know what I mean?
yeah. So
So
this
that's
is
what.
the initial when they called Richard Allen in to talk to him. He told, I believe it was Skinner. But to me, it really doesn't matter whether it was Doolin or Skinner. Doesn't matter. What this reads to me is Doolin got the information off of the Orion system and gave it to them. So people are just assuming that he took that statement from Richard Allen. But from what it reads, Richard Allen told either Doolin or Skinner that I was there between 1330 and 1530, and then in October of 2023, he also told them that he was there between 1330 and 1530.
You're talking about 2022.
2022, I apologize. So that didn't change. None of that changed until he got attorneys.
Exactly.
And
Right.
that's okay. I don't mind that. It's something that happens all the time. Those attorneys are doing the very best job that they can. This whole turn of events, there's been some lines drawn in the sand, and for me, for no apparent reason, none of it really matters. The evidence does not change. Support with Steffa. Where's the phone with MIED listed in the affidavit as burner phone or his personal phone? Don't know. That's the phone that he had when he met with the conservation officer, whoever it was. And they're saying it did not have an IM DI, whatever it is, a standard phone identification number that the phone companies use. Joan Brew's sister of KG boyfriend, the only one out when Casey saying she was dropping the girls and headed over. Very coincidental. She would know Libby well, not just as a girl. Correct. I believe that 100%. Now, so you get Richard Allen saying he was looking at a stock tracker. Three girls are saying that he was um, had his
Hands
hands
in
in his
pocket.
pocket.
Yep.
Now he has admitted to, and they have since found out and able to prove that his regular phone, the one that he used all the time, was at home during this time. He has no alibi. Um, so these burner phones don't typically have access to the whole shoot match. You get a cheap phone, you can basically call and text from it. These prepaid tac phones,
Right.
all that. They're not as good as a regular iPhone. Hi, Teresa. They're not as good as a regular iPhone or Android or whatever the such. I don't think they're even iPhones or Android. They're old CCMD or whatever it is. Just enough so you can make calls and text. So how the hell he was watching a stock ticker on that phone? It's beyond me. I think that's a crock of shit, to be honest with you. But yes, I agree, Shane. I went in. I watched some of your show tonight, Teresa. Well, you know that. I stopped in and said hello. I try to say hello as much as possible. Sometimes I lurk. Sometimes I'll go in there and talk. But it's getting more and more. People are leaning more and more towards the defense in there. So I try and keep my mouth shut. I don't mind talking, but I don't want to rouse anybody up and piss them off on your
I'm the same way, man. I'll
on your
watch,
show.
but if I see that shit going on, I won't say nothing.
Right. Okay, Rick's phone number is in the search warrant. Does it mean much, or just that they were aware of his phone number already? Yeah, they when they came in that day, I mean, they had to contact him somehow, so they probably had his information. It's not hard to get somebody's information. I mean, for Christ's sake, just look what happens on YouTube. People get doxxed, their phone numbers, their family's phone numbers get put out there. It's not hard to get people's information. Law enforcement can get it very easily. But they voluntarily went in and spoke with law enforcement that day. And at some point, one of them gave permission to search the property. We know this because a neighbor took pictures. I wish I had remembered. I could go back and research it. But a neighbor took pictures of earlier, much earlier, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I think it was. They were
Hmm.
digging in the yard and carrying stuff around and all that. So the judge didn't sign that warrant until after 6 p.m. And Leggett says that the warrant was executed at 5. I don't see how that's possible. Something is awry there. So, but I mean, we'll have to wait and see how that comes out. Now
Watch it. It'll
the
be a misspoke.
yeah. Now, do you want to go on to the next page, or we could do it on yours afterwards, or we could just bullshit for a while, get to some questions? I know people have questions.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure everybody's pretty much read over this. We just got to some of the key points that we noticed contradicting what Richard Allen was saying with the actual girls' names and what their statements are. Wanted to make
Mhm.
sure everybody knew and understood what these girls were saying. And like I said, and it proves that the new alibi has been contradicted. They're trying to contradict the girls' recollection of the times and everything. So,
Mm. And here's another thing that is a fact. It's not. I'm not speculating, but Rayleigh Voorhees did go in after Richard Allen was arrested. She went in and identified him for
yes.
whatever reason. I know people are getting hung up on this as well, and I can't help you. I don't know why, but they made him speak as well. But she identified him by looking at him. So yeah, Teresa, your crowd maybe comes over here a little bit. It's really cool to see all these people going around the different channels. I love it because they're getting informed. I just tell people just to be careful if you don't research it yourself at all. Don't take anything as even from me. I mean, this stuff here that I'm telling you guys that I know is a fact, but you got no alibi. You ugly.
After, I mean, yeah, we've seen the redacted version of this whole thing, and now that you got to see the unredacted, you could see the picture more clearly than what you could from the redacted one. You know what I mean?
Mm, yeah, exactly.
Who saw what?
Now with the Weber's garage, okay, um, whoever was with him, he didn't cross back over the creek. They did. And they went and they stashed something in there. So those drops of blood came off of whatever they stashed or off their hands or what have you. But they definitely didn't want them in their vehicle, which makes sense. So they
Yeah.
stashed them there. And somebody had to go back and get it. So,
I'm just reading chat.
oh, I'm sorry, Boston Christian. I'll adjust it some more. I think I have it to like 8. You can put 8 little
People are getting
things.
muted out because of that bot.
And Boston Christian's a sweetheart.
That's
Yeah.
messed up.
Yeah, I'll have to just turn that part off. I've never seen anybody really, and I have enough good mods where, I mean, they're troll thumpers and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with all these little icons and stuff, but it's just one of those things that just loads up. Duke Nukem, what's going on? I'm not positive when Skinner died, but I do know this: he was already retired when all this happened, so he was just helping out when they were blanket. They were canvassing. Scott
My,
Daly, he probably doesn't
my
have any stocks. Hmm.
my understanding is that Richard Allen knew Skinner personally, and
Yeah,
that's
knew
how
him
it all
well.
started. Yes, and he got a hold of Skinner, and Skinner told him to go up and meet with Doolin or whatever the circumstances was with that. He got a hold of Skinner and said, "Hey, I got somebody that's coming up to give you some information." I don't know how that played out, but my understanding it was that he contacted Skinner, and then Skinner advised him to meet with Doolin at the grocery store.
Right. Now, as far as amending the charges to better meet the PC. All right, let me get this question real quick from Robin. Good evening, Ruckus, Frank, and Chad. I have a curious question. With KA are on the witness list against RA, would she prohibit to speak to her husband, or would that not make a difference? She is not compelled to testify against her husband. She is not, but she can be subpoenaed. And if I were a betting man, they're going to put her on the stand and say, "Are you the person that answered the phone when he called from the jail?" Yes, I am. Are you this person on the recording that he's speaking to? Yes, I am. Thank you. Have a
Mm,
good day.
yep, that's what I think.
Yeah, that's all. That's
That's
all they're going to do.
yep, that's all they're going to need out of her.
Scott Daly, what's up? But yeah, she's not compelled. She can testify against her husband, but she's not compelled to. She does not have to. But they just want to make sure that, I mean, because that's huge evidence, guys. If he confessed, even if it's a false confession, okay, even if they're proved that he was suffering some kind of mental breakdown or whatever, they still have to prove that he called and he spoke to somebody and who it was. You know,
Right.
so that's just how that cookie crumbles. It's to me it's stupid to have to go that far, but you'd be amazed. The defense will use anything, and they should use anything. All right. In fairness, a lot of people have good points in chat, even if they don't agree. Debating is good. I agree 100%. Just don't
Hmm.
be a dick.
Exactly.
I'm abrasive. There's no doubt I'm abrasive, but there's ways to ask things. If you want to talk about something and ask questions back and forth, that's fine. But I'm here to tell you, not one person is going to convince me otherwise of what I believe. I didn't take information from one person and form an opinion. I took information that I was able to collect and speaking with other people and formed my opinion. So not one person in here is going to be able to call me names, threaten me, or anything like that and get me to change my mind. It's not going to happen at all.
Let me get this, Lady Monet. There was one photo bridge guy where it had just a snippet of Abby in the photo. It was her left arm was in the photo,
Yeah, that
and
was
they ended
actually
up,
the video.
yeah, and they ended up cropping that too. So somebody caught it before they cropped it, and now it's hard to find.
Yeah, law enforcement admits that they did enhance that video. And there's no doubt in my mind that they did something to his right hand pocket area.
Yep,
And they probably did that because you can see the weapon,
right.
you know. But it's law enforcement has fessed up to everything that they've done. I don't know where all this discussion's coming from about photoshopping Abby on the bridge and all that stuff. There's just nothing to
Oh
gain
yeah,
from it.
there's not.
I've been going at the South Side theory since day one as well. I think that Richard Allen, somebody was already on the South Side because they come up that driveway where the church is. They come up that road, past those fields and the such. And then Richard Allen crossed the bridge, spoke with them, passed the girls going north, and then turned around and came back to them. Otherwise, he would have been in the picture with Abby. I don't think anybody can hustle that far across that bridge that quick. Some people say yes, you can. I think Rick Snay walked across it in a matter of minutes, and he was definitely not hustling. So, hard to say, but you think you'd be able to see Richard Allen in that picture if he was um, behind him at that point. But I think he had already crossed the bridge and everything came over. He walked past them again. That was his job, was to get past them, corral them so that they couldn't run back across the bridge.
And see, I've always thought the same thing. I said, if Betsy Player saw him around 1:30 ish, somewhere in there, and he was on the first platform, well, when she turned around and walked away, he walked to the south end of the bridge and stood off to where nobody could see him, to where he could see if anybody's coming up from the north side.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he got back on the bridge when he saw the girls. He walked past them and turned around, and that's when everything took place.
Well, these new amended charges definitely leave it open now as a premeditated conspiracy type thing.
Yep.
And to me,
And
again, like I said, especially with today. Today, the judge says, no, we're not going to have, I'm not even entertaining the Franks motion.
we're going to get into that on mine.
Yeah.
That reminds me, we got about 8 minutes. I'm going to have to get out of there so I can set up for ours in less than 10 minutes.
Yep. And if you want to, don't forget to send me the link.
I already did. It's in your email.
Okay. I haven't checked it yet. But that's my opinion with this new information that's come out, the new amended charges. And the unredacted thing, it just firms up with what everybody already knows. Now we know that there's two confidential informants, two, and we know that there is one identified white male. There was more pictures on Libby's phone that were taken pre-bridge, and there's an unidentified white male that appears to be in dark clothes, possibly black. So, and that person never came forward and said, "Hey, that's me," because they never put that picture out. So it could have been somebody that's already been discussed. And the discussion I had with David Riley was simply his wife got called in, his daughter got called in, he did not. Somebody said that he spoke to law enforcement and he was swabbed for DNA. He may well have been, but he didn't get called in during the time. It's not in the discovery, put it that way. There's no way possible they could have put every single person that they talked to in the discovery.
Right.
You
All
know.
right, man. I gotta go sit up.
All right, brother. I'll be over there in a minute.
All right.
All right, Frank. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Let me get through these. See if there's any other questions. Let me unlock this and make myself a little bit larger. There we go. Does anybody have any questions for me? We're gonna go over to Frank's. So, and Teresa, just to address something that you spoke about the judge not reading, and I noticed a lot of comments in your chat about the judge not reading the Frank's motion, the 136 pages and all that. She had since October, and if she has half a brain in her head, she would have read it just in case. She didn't know which way the Supreme Court was going to go. But she definitely had plenty of time. She had almost 4 months to read it. So I don't see that as hard to believe or ridiculous that she just read it over the weekend. I don't think she just read it over the weekend. She's had plenty of time. Let me see what Gail said here. Coming fast on the girls, the video was taken and understood could be wrong. Oh well. Yeah, I believe that he was on the south side, past them as they were going from north to south. He was headed north, but his job was just to get on the other side of them and to corral him. That's why he had his gun out, told him to go down the hill. Now, we don't know which way he told them to go down the hill. They may have wanted them to go down to the right where the second person was, but they ran down to the left, which would make sense. You're going to run away from danger. But we'll see. It'll all come out. There's no doubt in my mind that more people are involved, more arrests are going to be made. Keegan Kline is involved. He is going to be testifying. There's just no doubt in my mind. And all of the timing, the river search, um, the arrest of Richard Allen, it's just it to me. It's just screams that cooperation on Keegan Kline's part. He knew more than he did. The way he acted when law enforcement searched their home and the such, and the searches that he did on his phone, all pull right in together. Stephanie, how are you? Scott Daly. All right, I want to thank you guys all for stopping in. If you have any other questions, you can email them to me at ruckusrockstcp@gmail. Or you can ask them in my comment section. And if I don't mind joining other people. Oh, here we go. Ruckus. So no mention those little books taken. Wonder what happened to them. I don't know. Looks like we got another super chat. Patricia Clark. Thank you so much. When did the informants come forward? Any more on the Walmart video? Yeah, I know more on the Walmart video. I'm just not at liberty to say. But the confidential informants, if you go and tell law enforcement something, you are a witness. If they have you wear a wire or continue to cooperate with them, you are now a confidential informant. It's hard to find out who confidential informants are. But when you've been doing it long enough and you see what's available and what's out there, I would be willing to say that his son-in-law, Paulo, is one of those confidential informants, at least. And there's an unidentified male that we need to find out who that is as well. So, but as far as the Weber's garage, something was stashed in there. And hey, Tom, how are you, sir? Thanks for stopping in. Something next to you made a noise and scream out loud. Yeah, Jinx is awesome, Tom. She is funny as hell. It's funny as hell. So if I missed something, or I was oblivious to a question or concern, then just shoot it to me. And like I said, I don't matter. It doesn't matter what not one of us says. Not one of us matters. What matters is what the 12 juries believe. But the judge, and we'll speak about this over on Frank's channel, would have been safer to walk up the creek back to the garage if seen bend as a searcher. Yes. I'm going to try, and that's why I'm going to talk to Jill, because she has access to the Webers. I'm gonna try and go back there with Eric Williams. I spoke to him. He said he'll meet me there and he'll show me exactly where he searched. So if I can get permission to do that and I can get back out there, we agree on a lot of things, Teresa. We honestly do. And like I said, I love you to death. I like your personality. I like the way you handle your business on your show. It runs very smooth. That's why you have a lot of subscribers. You know what you're doing. But I'm going to try and get back there with Eric, and I will videotape everything. So we'll go along exactly where he searched. Okay, so that is it for tonight. Heading over to Frank's channel. As soon as I log off here, if you guys want to head over there, we're going to go over what happened today with the filings from Judge Gull with her spanking those attorneys. And I can't think of a better word for it. Whether you like her or don't like her, or like those attorneys or don't like those attorneys, she put it on him today, and we'll find out what her intentions were. So we'll find that out soon. All right, you guys have a great night. Don't take any wood nickels. My name is Ruckus. Thanks for hanging out. Please like, subscribe, and share. I'm 10-7.